What's up, guys? In this video, I wanted to tell you the story about how I sold some pretty uninspiring merch by Amazon t-shirts. Honestly, it was an experiment, but I was also just trying to get my daily upload slots filled. And I remember sitting there thinking, how the heck am I going to fill 50 upload slots? Sat there, thought about it for a little bit and was like, oh yeah, deck of cards. What is that, 52? If you have jokers, maybe 54. Shirt designs, well, that might work. Also, is this going to work? Can it really be that easy? And in this, I wouldn't waste your time with this video if I didn't make quite a few sales from this. Of course, I did not get rich from this. Okay, I'm not trying to mislead anybody into thinking like this is the next big thing, this is the big secret. I just want to tell you a story about how I didn't come up with any original ideas. I didn't do any niche research. All right, this decision to sell in this niche that I didn't even attempt to validate, it was made solely based on wanting to fill those upload slots that day. So I was aiming for quantity really over quality. Although, it's pretty straightforward to sell deck of card themed shirts. And no, this was not even around Halloween. Of course, though, I did see an uptick in sales around Halloween as well for people that were lazy. Let's be honest here. Can we call it a lazy costume if you're dressed up like a deck of cards? I did see an uptick around Halloween as well. But I want to show you how I did it step by step, guys. It's pretty straightforward, and I don't think it's going to blow anybody's mind how I went about making sales with such an obvious niche, but let's get started. Quick reminder, I run a free weekly print-on-demand giveaway. It takes like 10 seconds to enter. You can use the link at the top of the description to do that. Also, I've got a free 7-day Merch by Amazon mini course that you can take advantage of. If you give me your email address, I'll send you one lesson a day, and it's quite thorough. And I've got a great Merch by Amazon Facebook group if you guys would like to join. All right, and all those links are in the description, by the way. So this is the step-by-step how I executed this plan that I hatched in about 2 minutes of thinking about what I was going to do that day for my merch uploads. And guys, as you sell more shirts in Merch by Amazon, they increase your tier. Your tier represents how many designs, how many unique designs you can post for sale on various products to the Merch by Amazon platform and ultimately the Amazon catalog. And the higher your tier goes, the more daily upload slots you get. And if you're like me and you're kind of, you maybe obsess over these things, you see them as like almost like a video game that you want to win, you may want to fill your daily upload slots until your maximum designs are full. And that's how I came to the decision to sell card themed shirts. All right, so as far as graphics goes, I went to the public domain for help here because I figured this is a pretty common theme. I figured I'd be able to find something in the public domain. So rather than me trying to design it myself and this whole process taking me days or weeks, I went about doing it just in the public domain. And I don't share all my sources publicly. This is one of those that you can get in my print on demand course. There are a couple places you can go for graphics like this, simple ones. And you may be thinking, yeah, but Ryan, what if other people are selling the exact same graphics? Like, hey, what if? Who cares, right? I'm not worried about that. If it's public domain, that means that they're not going to come after me for copying them. They technically can, but they didn't, fortunately, because it's not their original work. And I'm not going after anybody that may be copying or not, because again, they're not copying. They're using the same graphics. It's fine, right? We're both trying to do the same thing. We're trying to make some money. And ultimately, the customer who buys these shirts from us, they don't know, they don't care, right? They just want their shirt. So I went to the public domain. I did have to edit each of the graphics because this is a snapshot. It's not all of the graphics, but this is the, and shout out to the artist, whoever made these, and put them available in the public domain. But I had to go in there and kind of edit out the border that kind of was supposed to represent the card outline itself. So I had to edit those out and just kind of strip the inside for those designs and put those on the t-shirt because I don't think it would have looked nearly as good if it looked like there was like a floating card in the shirt. I could be wrong. Maybe people would like that, but I went ahead and I stripped that part out, the outside border. And now I've got my graphics, all right? And I've got 52 of them. And if there's jokers, which I don't think I see any, yeah, 52. So now it's like, okay, I need a design app. What am I going to do here? Now, I'm not actually really even doing designing. I am just creating a canvas in the design app. I'm going to do 4,500 pixels wide by 5,400 pixels tall. And then I'm going to basically go back to my graphics and I'm going to, I'm going to drag and drop and then I'm going to save as. Well, by the way, these are, I got them in resolution independent format, right? So SVG format in this case. So I can scale them up, I can scale them down, and they're not going to lose quality. So basically when I drag and I drop into my design app, it's going to drop in there typically, I think generally speaking, it's just going to be max size. Like it's going to either max out width or max out height. All right. And because the actual deck of card kind of mimics the space available for us to design in on a t-shirt, it's going to look pretty good right away. So it's not even like this is going to take me a lot of time adjusting and resizing. It's pretty much a straightforward process, drag, drop, file, save as PNG, give it a good file name, and then move on to the next one, guys. Turn off that layer. Next layer, drag, drop, done. So, you might consider using like Photoshop, maybe Illustrator, if you're into the Adobe products like I am. I use Photoshop, just creature of habit. Canva, another really popular one where you can do your designing in your web browser. And it wouldn't surprise me if you guys use Canva Pro, and I'll link to Canva, and I'll link to all three of these in the description in case you want to check them out. Wouldn't surprise me if Canva also had graphics that you could probably use on your designs as well for the pro users. Of course, you got to go check the licenses and do all your due diligence there. Or Photopea, that's this weird graphic behind me. Photopea is basically they cloned Photoshop and they made it function in a web browser. So Photopea, basically anybody that doesn't want to pay for a Photoshop license, check that out. Then you know the rest of the process, guys. I upload them to Merch by Amazon. I see a preview of what the finished product is going to look like. Of course, these products don't exist until the customer purchases them. Then they receive the order. They print them. They ship them out to the customer. We sit back. We collect a royalty. What is not to love about this? And here's just a preview of the aces. I sold most of the aces, like as far as if I look at all the sales that I did from these decks of cards, as you'd probably guess, the aces sold really well. Also, a quick note, I don't know why this is, but on the German market, because I did enable them on the European markets, the German market, I made not as many sales as the US market, but quite a few, all right? A lot more than I normally do on the German market. So maybe, I don't know what it is, and I'm not even trying to tell you guys to sell deck of cards themed shirts. I'm just trying to show you that like sometimes things like this so random can work. I don't want to say they're obvious because how obvious are they really? But something that's just like low hanging fruit, simple, can truly work. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that I also ran ads to them because I didn't want to compete with every existing deck of cards themed shirt in existence that already has sales history. So I went ahead and I spent a little bit of time setting up ads for them as a quick test, because again, I still wasn't convinced that I wasn't just wasting my time creating all of these designs. So I went to, the ads tab, if you have access to that on Merch by Amazon. If you don't have access yet, I've heard of people getting it in tier 100, although that sounds extremely rare. I've heard it sounds like 500 to 1,000, tier 500, tier 5,000, tier 1,000 is about when you get access to ads, and you'll see it in the navigation bar. So I created, well, first you got to sign up for ads. When you get access, put a credit card on file so they can bill you. And then you go to create campaign. I clicked sponsored products. And if I go down to targeting, which is up near the top of the page, actually, I selected manual targeting. This way I can provide the keywords that I would like to pay Amazon to show up and, advertise on, essentially. As far as, this is not meant to be a full advertising tutorial, but just kind of giving you an insight into my brain of like how I would go about setting up a really quick ad. I would go in and add the ASINs for the shirts. In this case, if we're looking at the, aces here, I would go grab the ASINs for the aces shirts, aces, of course. Then down here under bid, I would actually switch. I should have done that for the screenshot there, but I would switch suggested bid and I would manually enter the bid, or like right above where I took the screenshot, you can actually key in your own value for the suggested bid. And I would definitely always come in low. I'd rather start low and go high over time and like manually increase them than start with Amazon's suggested bid, which is always way too high in my opinion. So match type, I would typically, if you're just trying to set up a quick ad, I don't like to mix broad phrase and exact into one campaign, one ad group. I like to kind of like split them up and be very like kind of diligent in how they're all structured. So at least as far as like ad groups goes, I can't imagine mixing them. Like you would at least create another ad group and say like broad, another ad group exact. So in this case, I did phrase match. That's my favorite. If I'm only doing one, I'm just going to do phrase match. And then you can see here that I don't need to give an exact match of what someone searches. I just need to, say, hey, this phrase that they searched for matches these keywords, this phrase that I provided. So I would like to bid to show up. So first one I typed was like ace of. Next one is ace of spades shirt. Next one, ace of hearts shirt. And you don't need to overbid. The point is to make profit, I'm assuming, so you don't need to like bid too much. That's why I say start low and then just see if you can get some impressions. They'll give you that metric over time in the console. By the way, as you start to type in keywords, Amazon will expand an autocomplete similar to how they do the autocomplete for customers searching on the front end. and they'll kind of give you a preview of what people are searching for. Okay. And by the way, they also say, note, not all of these shoppers queries are eligible for targeting. I'm not sure exactly why they say that though, because I think generally speaking, like all these look pretty safe. I think sometimes though, because they're pulling from what customers actually search, they maybe put something like that in there for when, just in case you're trying to advertise something related to politics, because they have that policy about can't advertise things for politics. Just guessing here. All right, guys, and that's pretty much it. Ultimately, I did make quite a few sales. It didn't make me rich, but at this point, I've probably made over $100 profit from when I sat down that day and set up all of those card-themed shirts. So I just wanted to let you know that sometimes you think a little bit inside the box, do something that's not that complicated, and while nobody's probably that impressed that I made a little bit over $100 profit selling those card-themed shirts, hey, sales are sales, guys, and I felt good about it. I got my daily upload slots filled, so that's why I wanted to share this story with you guys here today. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe, by the way, as well. I really appreciate that. And before I wrap up, wanted to remind you, I have a full Merch by Amazon course walking you through how I went from tier 10 to tier 200,000. In that course, you're going to learn about a lot of my bigger successes than the one I shared today. But there was kind of a point behind me making this video. I wanted to show you that not everything has to be that flashy and glamorous. Sometimes you just kind of grind through and, it works out. Thanks again for watching, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow with a new video.